was extreme and isolated Freddie from those that loved him and gravitated towards those who endorsed his hedonistic behavior.
Freddie would basically do anything with anybody. He even said it himself, you know, I've got a huge bed and it can fit everybody and everything, darling.
And I went into the sitting room and lo and behold, there was Freddie on the floor, stark naked, with three young men, totally naked, and this German actress, who was also naked. And Freddie looked up and just said, would you like to join us?
Do you have hobbies?
I know, John. We had a lot of sex.
The character of Freddie Mercury was becoming a liability rather than an asset, and he was starting to lose control. As the excesses got worse, so did his fear of being alone.
I got a call from the Queen office and they said, would you take something back to Munich? And I said, what is it, videos, English sausages, you know? I said, no, it's Fred. He wouldn't travel on his own. Always had to be somebody with him. He was lonely is the right word. He did need attention.
You can be so loved by so many thousands of people, yet you can be so lonely.
Like many people who are lonely, he fantasized about a romantic soulmate. But at this stage, he was incapable of sustaining a relationship. So the quest to try and make the fantasy a reality led to ever more pain.
I don't trust anybody, because I've let me down so many times. I feel I'm walking around with scars all over the place. I think I could take another scar. I think it's like I created the monster.
I can understand why he said, David, I created a monster, and that's why it's so hard for me to find somebody to love. I found. I mean, he tried everywhere, New York, Munich, you know, the world. They would be brief encounters.
And I'm very hard on the exterior, really, so self-centered. Naturally, yeah, put a chocolate. Something out of black magic.
This self-awareness is arguably what saved Freddie from the monster that he'd created. He knew that in order to survive psychologically, he would have to be authentic and capable of being vulnerable again, as he was with Mary.
But it's just that I am handicapped, and therefore I have to sort of write my so-called stage persona. Most of the times it sort of works against me.
The appeal of this extreme version of his stage persona was wearing off.
But to leave this part of his life behind would require a major event so he could fully reunite with Queen. At 6 p.m. on the 13th of July 1985, an iconic moment was captured on this now famous footage.
They'd never done a daylight show like that. Freddie was absolutely stunned.
Freddie's charismatic and commanding performance is clear to see in the TV coverage of Live Aid.
When he actually saw the whole audience doing the clapping for Radio Gaga. It was actually that brought home to him the power that he had over people.
I cannot think of any other artist that could take 100,000 people and make them do exactly as he wanted.
Queen's performance at Live Aid was one of the greatest ever because of its power and emotion. But it wasn't just a gig, it was actually a validation of the band getting back together.
When we came back, it was like coming back together again from the start. So we started fighting about all the things we used to fight about 5 or 10 years ago. And so off we go again.
The band were like, well, okay.